A quick segment on A Quiet Place from 2018. And this is not so much a description of my impressions of the film, because I could talk a lot about it. Like, it wasn't ideal. It was kind of a cliche film about a dystopia caused by an alien invasion. So you've got your standard Stranger Things type of monsters. You've got the family trying to survive, while dramatically dying off one by one. And in the meantime, the mystery of trying to figure out how to defeat the monsters. Just your standard quick oven apocalypse film. And I could talk about, the illogical stuff like them having to survive by being completely quiet, while at the same time living in a house with like 200 objects that can fall off and make a noise. Just all of your standard points of lack of logic, plot holes and problems that you get with this regular type of horror film. And I don't think that's relevant. I don't see the need to complain about those. The film was nice. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't original. It was just a nice piece of film for me to spend some time on. And so what I want to talk about is instead what the film made me wonder about in the bigger scheme of things. Like, why is this so trendy? The apocalypse, dystopia, horror films. Because I've read like theories and watched, like analysis by other people of why disaster films were specifically so popular in the 90s and the early 2000s, like Twister, Titanic, Deep Impact, Armageddon, The Day After Tomorrow, this giant streak of apocalypse films. And it's like they make it out to be specific to that period. But look at this. We've got like The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, The Last of Us, this, A Quiet Place. And I understand now that this is not just one film but a series, and I'll watch the rest of them definitely. So apparently it's not just specific to the turn of the century, it keeps going. And so if it keeps going, why do we still maintain that streak of films that make you invest time into feeling like the world is ending? Now one might say that this is reflective of the age, because our lives are very difficult, and so that's the kind of art we make, and this is the kind of emotions that we express in our medium of entertainment. But I would say something else. Rather than a reflection of our socioeconomic mood, I think it's maybe more like a way of escapism. And now follow me for a bit, because when you say escapism, that means that like you get into a book or a film that's more positive than your reality. So why the fuck would you escape in a horror film? Why would you want to experience, as I would call it, negative escapism? Like a fictional world, but it's shittier than the reality. And if you think about it, it's logical actually. Negative escapism is something completely expected. If you feel horrible about your own world and about your own reality, then how could you remedy that? How could you alleviate your pain and pressure at least a little bit? Well, if you've experienced, like, say you stub your toe and it hurts like hell and you can't take it, so what do you want to do? You want to distract your body with some kind of a different pain. So you bite on your finger. And this is maybe the same thing. The world is getting shittier by the day. Our lives are getting more and more difficult. And when I watch a film like this, like A Quiet Place or whatever else I'm watching that's apocalyptic, when I finish the film, I take a deep breath and I say to myself, at least I'm not in that film. See what I mean? Negative escapism. You escape in a world that's worse than yours. And then you can lie to your brain and say, it could be worse. It's like a little bit of, I guess, red pilling yourself into thinking life isn't so bad.